Welcome to Iowa Central Soccer. You're watching a playoff match right now. Tension's getting higher, weather getting colder. It's about 45 degrees here at Harlan Rogers. So not traditional soccer weather, but both teams going to have to deal with it if they want to come out of this with a playoff victory. They did meet once earlier in the season, match that Iowa Central got the better of 2-0. So Iowa Central played all the way through the season, ending up 11-3-3, and this is the matchup they got for it. So they're going to try to take advantage of a matchup that they think favors them. And Scott Community College is going to see if they can't find themselves an upset and keep themselves alive this season. As we run down this Iowa Central team, going to be fielding it what they pretty much fielded all year. The team of Costa, DaCosta, Carnes, Hernandez, Lovan, Wenzel, Carr, Montoya, Woodcock, Moyle, and Caldas. So pretty standard starting fare for them. It's the same 10-11 they've been starting all the time, same woman in net. See if they can get the same result they got out of it last. First touch, of course, going to go to the visiting Scott Community College team, waiting for the officials go ahead in the circle right now. And we kick in, we are off in this elimination game. Expect a little bit of a faster start, as it is a colder weather, so both teams not going to want to let the weather cool them back down. And also, playoff game, tension's obviously going to be a little bit higher at every moment, every goal meaning a bit more. As this first little volley goes out of bounds, going to be ending up in Iowa Central territory. A throw-in for Carr. Headed up and towards, and now fought for a bit in the midfield area. Still not settling down on a touch. It's going to be Iowa Central's throw-in. Thrown in it is. Volley back and forth between. Still no team getting a solid possession yet in this first minute. Now the 44-minute mark approaching, and neither team's drawn it past their own half court, so we'll see if that continues to be a trend. Now trying to get something going behind the line. Down the left wing, Iowa Central trying to attack. Defender gets there, nicks it out of play. Smart bit of defending there. No reason to do more than you have to. You were in a bad situation. Don't try to do anything fancy. Now still trying to get something going now, moving forward. Scott down the right wing. We've played it forward now cut out by Carnes. Good defensive play there. Stop the momentum going forward. Now cut out by Woodcock there down the right. 43 and a half left to play. Neither team really seems to be interested in coming out guns blazing. Slow pace, keeping the passes back and forth. So when the first opportunity of this game does arise, you can expect it to be a big one. Back to the midfield, trying to switch play over to Wenzel, and they do. Does a little bit of dribbling, does Nicole Wenzel. That's where her specialty is. Good passer, good dribbler, and can finish when she gets herself open, and she has a tendency to find herself one-on-one with keepers, which increases your shot percentage. Cut out here by Hernandez. Playing it over to Caldas. Now back to Montoya, trying to find something through for Wenzel. She's not going to beat the keeper there, it doesn't look like. Just safely scooping it up there, Brenda Avila. Gets her first touch of the day. And it's as easy as the keeper could wish for. Now having a chance to just punt it forward. Played by Carr. But she's going to dribble herself out of bounds. Tried to walk the tightrope there. Defender not having any of it. So far, just good control play. About 50-50 possession. Everything about 50-50. Neither team really coming out of its shell. As I mentioned before, this game ended 2-0, so goals might be at a premium. We might have an opportunity here. Lavon streaming down the right. She might have a chance to cross. Sitting in the middle, DaCosta not able to connect it through. End up falling to the foot of Wenzel instead. I think she was crossing, trying to find DaCosta on a header. Instead, that cross is going to go for naught, but they're still going to have possession in a little bit of dangerous territory here. There are better times to score than others, and late goals and early goals, both killers. You score in the first 5 minutes of a half, you totally change the complexion of a game at the same way you do at the second half. Momentum just changes. So an early goal there would have been a disaster. Scott Community College walks its way out, though. Now, a little bit too much red in one area, not quite spreading out well. Is the Scott Community College offense. It's going to be stolen away as a result. Making me bite my tongue, a little bit of dribble. Now they have something going down the right. If they beat the keeper to it, they've got a problem, but able to keep it out. Coming out of her own net all the way across to make a good defensive play, Emanuele Costa, and she's playing with fire there. She read it wrong. Wood had an open shot at net, but she plays that thing perfectly. It's going to stay 0-0. With a throw in here, 40 minutes left to play now in this first half. Tried to walk the tightrope down on the baseline, but they're going to say it went out. I saw it that way. Official agrees with me. It's first goal kick of the day, and as usual, Woodcock's going to take it. From a goal kick position, but it'll be the center back Woodcock. If it ends up 2-0 again, she'll be a big reason why. Good defender down here. And as I say that, trying to attack down the left was, as I get the number here, Haley Moyle. Testing it down there. Moyle had a little bit of a pace advantage, and she's going to get a throw-in out of it. Testing that back line. It's stood up twice already for Scott Early. Trying to cut out. Now they have something down the right. Woodcock comes and takes it away. A lot of speed in the back line of Iowa Central. You can look at it and say, you can obviously see the size, but one thing that will surprise you is the speed. They close away opportunities. Lavon trying to find DaCosta, but he'll cross her up and be played by Maddie Bulin in the back. Trying to find it. It's going to end up on the foot of Julissa Hernandez. Going to play it back to Woodcock. Keeping it between themselves, the center now. Doing a little bit of dribbling. Lavon beats a defender, ends up open. See if he can find a little bit of space on it. She did draw a triple team, but trying to pass out of it. She was trying to find Caldas. They've tried just about every direction so far, Iowa Central. They're doing a good job mixing up the attack between dribbling and passing, between left, right, and center, but so far they haven't really found a breakthrough. Closest they found is a Lavon chance to cross. Nothing came of that. A little bit of a battle here through the middle. It's won by Carnes. And the strikers aren't half bad, but the defenders on this Iowa Central team sparkle. Woodcock is trying to get something going offensively, but that's going to come off her foot just a bit out of bounds. The throw-in goes straight to Woodcock. Iowa Central not going to have the numbers trying to go right. Had a chance to switch play, didn't quite come off. And now, not trying to play with her back to the goal. Kaylee Dothard's just going to kick that thing out of bounds, give Iowa Central a throw-in on its attacking third, and they might have just wasted it. Nope, Hernandez keeps it on her foot. Now trying to swing play through the middle. Woodcock trying to find DaCosta. She finds Lavon instead. Now Wenzel. Best dribbler on the squad, but that time she dribbles herself right out of bounds. 38 minutes left to play. Look for Wenzel to put her mark on this game before it's over. Fantastic in one-on-one situations. Sometimes she makes defenders look like they're not even there. This one goes out of bounds. They're going to have a chance to get it back to her now. Hernandez. So whenever she sees one-on-one or a little bit of green space in front of her, she's going to take it. DaCosta trying to whip something through the box, but there's no one there to meet the other end of it. Going to be a goal kick. And keeper not going to take this goal kick. Looks like their preferred goal kicker is Dothard. So she's going to take the short run up. Get it blasted forward, and as she does, the clock's going to tick down under 38 minutes. Now they've got something going through the middle. She has support to her right. She feeds it through. A beautiful pass through. Great through ball. Not going to be able to get a solid shot on goal of it, though. Back over there, rotated well. Got her foot in between the shot and the keeper. Made it easy for her. As I mentioned before, that's the strength of this Iowa Central team. They don't really have an outstanding weakness, but if anything shines over anything else, it's that defensive back line. Lavon beats her woman. See if she can take on two. Her and Wenzel switch places. Now Wenzel's free down the right. She tries to whip it all the way to the left, but a mistake leaves DaCosta wide open, one-on-one with the keeper. Tries to put it away. There's a collision at the net. Keeper got enough of it to keep it out of the net wayward, but it's going to be the first really good scoring opportunity, and it's not over yet. They're going to have to defend a corner. A missed touch by the back line there. Spilled out beautifully with no one to beat, but DaCosta and the keeper that time stands tall, wins that one-on-one matchup, doesn't give DaCosta much to shoot at. But either way, that was almost a mental error leading to a goal, and they're still not out of the woods. Montoya. Low cross. DaCosta. Now Montoya with room to cross. She does. It's towards Woodcock. It's up and over her head. Trying to find a chance to finish. And now just trying to keep it in bounds, but they're not going to be able to. Almost shoots it into the tree line, but there's a little bit of a breeze coming in. A breeze on your screen blowing right to left. So keep that in mind, as it will affect. It is stiff enough. It's not absolutely ridiculous, but it is stiff enough to affect the trajectory of a ball today. Wenzel gets it forward. Now DaCosta beats her woman to the ball, has a chance, but not a good angle to shoot from. Just going to bang it off the side of the net. 35 minutes left. Now Iowa Central in these last couple minutes has really shown more of the superiority they found in the beginning of this first match. It was 50-50 for the first 5, but the longer this half has gone, Iowa Central now has come out and threatened a few times. See if Scott has an answer or if Iowa Central is going to keep possession, which they've had. They've been testing that Scott defense over and over again, and again the test is going to come up good as this is fired from, well, we'll say optimistic territory from Larissa Caldas, but she found herself wide open with a lot of room to put her foot through it, just didn't quite get a decent contact. Now they've got numbers. They're attacking 4-on-4 on this back line. Fed through, beautiful through ball. Chipped up, trying to chip the keeper. Dangerous territory there. As it didn't look like it was going to be anything special, but Emanuele Costa just a bit far off her line there, and they tried to chip one up over her head, but she's standing up there, able to take a few steps back, field it well. And the return goal kick is going to take a couple hops all the way to the opposing keeper, so we're going to trade keeper possessions here with 34 minutes left. Up, down, really. A couple hops out. Really, it's been an up-and-down game. There's been a couple lulls in action, but for the most part, both teams trying to find something positive out of play. At this point, though, the way the last 5 minutes have gone, Scott Community College is just trying to get itself a touch now. Because the longer you let that team just take chances at you without interrupting it, the more momentum they get. Now trying to feed a through ball to DaCosta. It's going to find the opposing keeper all the way instead, so handled by Brenda Avila pretty easily. Then she shanks the goal kick and gives Lovan a chance to have possession. Feeds it through legs, trying to find Wenzel. Still keeping a lot of possession, but struggling to put the finishes on Iowa Central so far. But you figure the way they've controlled the ball, you're going to get chances. And if they get as many chances as it looks like they're going to get today, 1 or 2 have to fall through. A little bit of push and shove here, but DaCosta lets that ball go out of bounds off a red touch. Dribbling back through. Challenging DaCosta, and she finds a way to walk the tightrope and beat her defender at the same time. She's unmarked and whips the ball through the middle, trying to connect with Wenzel. Led her just a bit strong, and now not really much room to attack. They're trying to get something going on the counter, but beautiful job holding shape there. There was a straight line of 4 women waiting to defend that counter. Iowa Central was not overdrawn there at all. Caldas trying to find Wenzel. Now being challenged. And it's won back by Caldas and then immediately kicked away. Intercepted. Good job reading the ball by Fa Munoz. Change of possession here. Neither team really getting a couple touches on their will finally fall under Scott College. And then be immediately Hernandez trying to find a through ball to Wenzel, who's going to challenge that. And she's just going to kick the ball away now off the challenge by Wenzel. Good job applying pressure by Nicole Wenzel. Now she's trying to apply a bit more, chasing this ball down in the corner. If she keeps it in bounds, she settle it in, and now she's got room to work. Tries to pick out a pass, but it's going to be cut out and cleared, but not all the way. Hernandez now trying to find a way to reposition, re-attack Iowa Central. That initial attack was going down the right. Now they're going to switch play over to the left. Cross it in DaCosta in a one-on-one battle down there. Looks like she's going to have the ball picked. And now 2-on-1 in the back, and you're going to find that Woodcock and Moyle are up to the challenge back there more times than not. But this time, running at, trying to break down Woodcock. Hernandez comes in, makes that not a fair one-on-one fight, but you're going to take that anytime. I think that Honestly, trying to break down Woodcock one-on-one is a big task. She held her ground long enough to get help there. 31 minutes left to play. Crossing it over, and honestly, this looks, if you factor in the weather, you factor in the situation, playoff game in a climate that these girls aren't generally used to playing in. Both teams actually look to be pretty comfortable. And so far, if you're testing the water game, it looks like it might be a close one. We're through 15 minutes here with no score. 30 minutes left to play in this first half. Doing a good job on the trap there, team of Levon and Hernandez. Woodcock passing out of the back. Hernandez beats a woman. Gives it to Levon. Now just through beautiful pass. First couple, the third one goes awry. Not able to find Wenzel down the right. Woodcock. They've got room to work down the left. Carr would have been able to swing it too, but I don't think that she was in field of vision there. Now, right one-on-one, Carnes got out, and the defensive excellence continues there. See if she can maintain possession, or if they're going to have to give up a set piece. Now Carr challenging, spitting it out. It's going to end up Scott Community College in attacking position. Open in the box, trying to feed through. This shot goes up and over, and outsprung outsprung Costa, who, well, that shot was off by a bit, but don't tell her that. Full extension. Fully extended, and now Wood take a swing at it. Caldas leaving. Never really a true challenge for her. Carnes. A defensive mistake feeds her through, and it looked too good to be true, and it was. Haley Moyle offsides on that. Left just a touch early, reading it. Did a fantastic job recognizing the turnover, recognizing where she was, and that she had a chance to counter. Just left a bit early. So no chance is going to come of that. And a free kick for Scott's going to come from that position. .28.5 minutes left to play. And this one's going to be pretty easily handled by Carnes. Is just going to get it out of bounds. If you ever see that play and you're not familiar with soccer, and giving up possession like that, it's clearly because you don't want to have to turn around and try to challenge someone while you're in the process of turning, because you're going to lose that more often than not. And in front of your own keeper, not a spot to take that risk. So instead, you're going to see players 9 times out of 10 just chip that out of bounds, let their defense get behind them and take a chance. Now this, by my eye, looks like it's way out of bounds. Official takes a little bit of time to keep it. Now it's going to be Talia Carr thrown in. Way outside scoring position, not even on their own side of the half with this throw. Carr chips it off a red shirt and out. Waiting for a second ball. A game of passing, really. The one-on-one dribbling matchups have been few and far between. Both of these teams electing rather. And I think it makes for prettier soccer to trade the ball. Try to find the open space where it is. This one's going to roll out of bounds. So really, they've been relying more on team athleticism, and so far it's only got them 0 goals at this point, but there have been chances. Each team has had a couple clear shots at goal go by the wayside, and that's how soccer goes. For every chance you remember that goes through, there's 2 or 3 that you wonder how they missed, and now getting back there, and there hasn't really, at this point, been a clear, clean shot at goal for Scotts Community College. They've licked a couple nice ones from long distance that looked and gave a chance, but they haven't really been able to scheme themselves into good position. And now on the counter, DaCosta trying to track it down. Official didn't like the contact here. A little bit of pushing and shoving, trying to track that ball down. Looks like he thought DaCosta got the best of it. So that foul's going to go against Iowa Central. 26 minutes left. And this one just sailed out of bounds off the free kick. So waste of a set piece there. Iowa Central's going to get possession right back. Both teams playing pretty traditional shape. Balanced approach between offense and defense. This one off a missed opportunity to try to settle it down on the chest. DaCosta might be able to run this down. Not going to let it roll out of bounds instead, but now Iowa Central. And these opportunities more important the longer it stays 0-0. Have a throw in from their offensive zone. Chipping it in. The header through. It's going to be just rolled up by the keeper there. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. Lack of excitement from what you'd expect when something gets whipped through the box. That time, goalkeeper gets an easy break. Cutting it out, Talia Carr reading that ball well, and they have a chance to attack back out of it. But then another defensive play saves the day. So Carr and Ford trading defensive efforts there, and it's going to result in a stalemate. Ends up on the foot of Carr. Still trying to find something down the left. See if they try to swing it out right. Now they must like the personnel matchup, and why not? Dribbles past it. Drilled through the middle, trying to find Wenzel. DaCosta. Moyle. Now through the Wenzel, and she's got no one but the keeper to beat. Drills it, tries to find the bottom right corner. Awkward angle to shoot from. Awkward body position she found herself in, and she still didn't put a half-bad shot on it. Just a couple feet right from finding Twine, but instead it's still 0-0. Hanging up in the air, see who comes down with the header. It's going to be Iowa Central controlling possession in a dangerous territory. You figure Scott can only get away with so many changes of possession there, but this cross going to be two towards the keeper, not really threatening anybody. Right between the numbers, and now trying to get on the counter is Scott. Settled down, over to Carr. Cut out. And now Carnes fighting for the ball. Wins it, and then just as it's going out of bounds, Carr tries to make a touch. Ends up losing possession for it. Carnes got a little bit of room, but she's going to be challenged right away. One back. No lack of hustle from either of these squads. Came from nowhere to that defender. Cutting out that pass over to the left. I was going to say they had something going, but the pass doesn't get through. Missed touch here down the side. Mendez is going to take the throw in. 23:06 left to play now. DaCosta, who's always hanging out on the counter, usually has a speed advantage over bigger defenders. That's why they like to use her on that. They put the ball in the spot, and then if once or twice a day she can beat the defender to that spot and find a wide open net, well, that's really all you need with a defense like Iowa Central's. And then you have her as a source of defense on the end of the pass, and Wenzel, who excels at getting herself open and finding the pass. They're a good combo up there. And not to leave the right winger, Alicia Lovan, out. She's a great crosser. Solid footwork and does good defensive work all the way around. So an all-around utility player, and they use her like that. This one out of bounds. Think they're going to give Iowa Central possession. They are. Haley Moyle. Chance to chip it over, try to switch play. Wenzel. A little bit too much. She was trying to put the ball down there in the corner for Alicia Lovan to go get it. Nothing's going to come out of it, though. 21:40 left to play in this 0-0 game. And of course, the 0-0 becomes even more tense. It's always a pretty nerve-wracking score, because you figure that's the type of day, a defensive kind of day, where one opportunity is going to be the difference between losing this match. But considering it's an elimination day, both teams playing for their playoff lives, everything just becomes a bit more important. And it will get more and more important as this clock ticks down. Chasing it down is Carnes, but she's going to pull up. Let Carr take the throw in. Chip it. Trying to get it up and over the defender and maybe find DaCosta. Not going to come out of it. And again, just trading one throw-in spot for the other. This one goes out of bounds off an Iowa Central touch. Scott takes it in. It's been a methodical game. It's been a feeling out process so far. Now there's a lot of contact, a little bit of shoving afterwards. Nothing called by the official. Down the right wing, she's got someone to try to get it through to. The pass is a little bit errant, but it's still hanging up in the air next to the keeper now. There. That was a lot of time hanging around waist level for that ball. I think DaCosta was expecting it. None comes. So Iowa Central there for the first time really giving up great position in front of the goal. They're going to get away with it, though. Dodge that bullet. Still 0-0. Now they're going to try it again, dribbling into the box. The chip pass is attempted, but it's partially blocked by a defender, then fielded by the keeper. With just under 20 minutes left to play. A lot of hang time on that forward pass. DaCosta, it's dangerous. Still trying to track it down. They have numbers. Gets it up, finds Moyle, but it's going to be off her thigh and then cleared out. Backing is Scott. Had a little bit of room to work through the middle. Carr comes up, takes it away. Now, as soon as Carr does that, she'll rotate back and play the defensive role. She plays kind of a hybrid back there. She plays in the back line an awful lot, but every now and again when an opportunity arises, she'll come up and play the midfield area. This defense rotates back and forth between having 4 and 3 defenders back there. A bit heavy on the first touch, but she's able with then dumps open space. Maybe she was trying to lead a teammate into it. Either way, the result, Scott coming down with possession here. Trying to attack one-on-one. Carnes up to the challenge, forces the pass down the right wing. Carr comes over, cuts it away beautifully. They had a little bit of room to work with down the wing, but Carr, like I said, deceptive speed for the size they have back there. Everyone in that back line can run. This one's just missed, and now DaCosta has a chance. Up to Wenzel. Trying to feed it over to DaCosta, but the speed, it's been a key factor. The speed of Maddie Bulin takes that chance away, chips it out. Usually DaCosta will find herself with the pace advantage over just about any backfield defender. Maddie Bulin giving her fits today. Moyle the throw. DaCosta daring the defender to come up one-on-one and then dumping it off to the back line. Gets it through, but not quite able to handle it. Takes a high hop on Haley Moyle. Took a high hop off of her, then was cleared out. Iowa Central, though, still going to have a throw in a great position to attack from. DaCosta back to Moyle. Trying to win the battle here. She's going to come out the better of it, dump it off to DaCosta. Keeps it through one defender contact, but the second one's just a bit too much, cleared out. Trying to get something going on the counter, but Iowa Central hasn't dedicated a lot to their front foot, hasn't come forward and attacked aggressively yet. So Scott Community College might have to stop going to that counter because there's simply not much there today. Even when Iowa Central sends 5 or 6 people forward and Scott wins possession and tries to whip it back across the field, across the pitch, there's usually been 3 or 4 in that back line waiting. Playing very disciplined and defensive-oriented soccer right now, Iowa Central. Hernandez trying to keep possession. It's going to end up Scott's, though. Kaylee Chavario controlling. Series of passes. End result's going to be Peyton Carnes trying to get it forward. No one really in the area, though. Headed up and over Moyle. And now up towards DaCosta. She's got her shoulder around it, but sealing it out again. Maddie Bulin shutting down the counter, letting her Goalie come up and field it, sealing out DaCosta there. The speed advantage in that matchup seems to go to DaCosta's going to have to figure out another way to attack. A lot of contact there. No forthcoming. So the end result, any official interference is going to be a throw-in for Iowa Central. 15 minutes left to play. She's got someone. She's trying to turn that corner. Losing it to Abigail Ford. Tries to feed it down the right, but it's cut out. Contest for the ball here. One out of bounds. Talia Carr not taking any chances. Gonna let everyone get back in front of her. This time, though, losing the battle off the edge. Have a little bit of prime real estate through the middle, but the pass isn't going to be able to get there. Now, has it. She's got it pointing up, which is where she's good. Now gets it over to Moyle, who's got to step off the edge. She's got DaCosta through the middle for support, and Levon trailing her. Beats her woman and almost steers one in the top left corner, but still hanging out in front of the keeper. Nothing to come out of it. Beautifully hit shot from that position. Still nil. Trying. Pretty as a pick. Curve was right, just missing. This one out of bounds. Iowa Central's going to get this ball back. Caldas. Sea of red around her, and she's going to give that ball up. Not for long here, though. It's going to down on her foot. Challenging that back line again. It holds up. That time Yoder coming up for the challenge. One's going to roll all the way out of bounds, and by the lack of it, he's chasing it. I'm going to guess it was off an Iowa Central touch. 13:40 left. Up and over. Up and over. Going to settle down on the foot of Montana. Chased down by Carnes. Long run, but no one really chasing her. Easy enough. Dave, and just as I say that, almost loses it in dangerous territory. Woodcock just trying to clear it now. Smartly gets it out of bounds. There's a second there. After Carr lost control, where there's a little bit of panic in that back line, but it settles down quick. Now again, now through the middle. Good chance to attack here. Dumping it back. Trying to chip it up and over the keeper. I believe she's missed everything. She has one hop off the back line and out. Going to be Woodcock back to take it. 12 minutes, 30 seconds left to play approximately in this half. Been a game of few chances, no goals. A good technical team play. It's been a bright, shining half for you. This one, DaCosta trying to chase it down. But again, they keep trying to go through the middle, trying to beat it over the head of Bulin, and she's answering the call every time here on DaCosta. See how they try to attack now. As that one-on-one matchup hasn't gone in their favor yet, but then again, anyone that knows the game will tell you it only takes one, and just as I say that, it's fed through to Wenzel, who just mishandles it. I think she caught it off her shin. Not able to get it goalward there. It's only going to take one here. You're going to score more than 1 or 2 goals today. Lacking, but the tactical decisions made have seemed to play a defensive game. Both teams playing, rotating heavily on the defensive end, not outdrawing to attack. Neither team really has sold out and brought that back line up to help yet. Levon to her right. Wenzel dribbles, out-dribbles one woman. Borderline call there. The official's going to let it go. Had a much better look at it than me. Massive feet. The official looks at it, assesses the situation, decides no foul is going to be called. There's 11 minutes left now. Played out of bounds by Woodcock. The throw in, they're trying to get something down the left. Down goes Courtney Woodcock, and they're going to say she was fouled. So a free kick that I'm guessing they're going to just take quickly. From two at down, buried in their own corner. See what she decides to do with it. She looks to be aiming around the midfield. I think they'll get a lucky break here. It goes off a red jersey and out. So now, from a free kick in not very good position, they're going to get a throw in decent position right around the midfield line. 10 minutes left to play as DaCosta chases this one down. Controls it once. Looks for someone to get it through because they're just swarming her as soon as she touches it. They're going to say she fouled trying to get that ball back. 10 minutes left to play, and they take this free kick quickly. Bulin's going to track this one down. But DaCosta's going to force her, looks like, to play this one. She is going to get the pass off to a teammate. Well defended. Able to keep Scott Community College control. Decides to play it aggressively, and the end result is they win possession back. Still not moving forward with it much. Another right back has it. And it's immediately kicked out of bounds, so Iowa Central off the miscue. Gonna take it. Throw-in goes towards Montoya. Wenzel. Back to Montoya now to call this. One away. Beautiful defense there by Kalia Dothard. Now Lovan. They leave her all alone in the corner. Neither person rotated over. She finds herself with a lot of free space. They're going to get a corner kick out of it. Mistake there. They swung it over to Lovan on the right wing. Now, traditionally, one of those two defenders that stood there looking at her while she ran by, rotating over. I think they both thought the other woman had it. Lovan almost makes them pay for it, but they still might have to pay for it in the way of defending this corner. Alyssa Montoya back to take it. Favors her left foot. Feeds it through. Low and hard. It's off the post and out. And they're going to say that it snuck past and didn't touch Abigail Ford, so it's going to be a goal kick. With 8 minutes left to play. Still no score. But they're past the filling out process. Now both teams looking for a chance to attack. Lovan winning a couple headers. Not able to settle it down on her own foot, though. All the way back to Larissa Caldas. Moyle fighting for it, not able to control it. Now Scott has it. And now they actually have the numbers advantage on the counter, but it's defended too well. Talia Carr rotating back, cutting out the passing lane. Beautifully done. Sometimes a trailing defender on those counters can be all the difference. If the defenders in front of them can make them take an extra step, make them hesitate just a bit, then all of a sudden you have the numbers game back on your side that time. Carnes was able to hold up the attack, and Carr was able to rotate back over and know where the pass was going because it was the only place she had to go. Get herself in between the ball and the attacker. But now, as I speak, you're going to have to come up and play it as the keeper. Looked a little bit more dangerous off the foot than it was. Coming out, defending it well. Sometimes her own best defender, Manuela Costa, she can handle herself in net. Contact here. Flag goes up. If it's on Scott, this isn't a bad place to take the kick from. 6 minutes, 40 seconds left to play. We've gone straight through this 45 minutes. No breaks, no injuries, which is honestly seems keeping everybody healthy can be a difficulty. 6.5 left. And yeah, they're going to give this kick basically a shortened corner kick. This is a dangerous up a set piece. Iowa Central's going to have to come up and defend it. Take a hesitation on the run. Gets it through. Coming up. Handles it well. Emanuele Costa. The cross was way too far goalward. She recognizes that, comes up, feels it pretty easy. 6 minutes left to play. Attacking down the right. Got a little bit of something going, but quickly now 2-on-1 in the box. Unable to get the shot off. She goes down. Don't think there was any contact on it, though. Disciplined defensive work there. Whenever someone with the ball goes down in the box, you always get a little bit scared that the official's going to get jumpy. Whether it was the call or not, that time well officiated, well defended. From an official crew and a defense that's done a heck of a job today. This one's spilling through in front of the keeper. Cut out by Hernandez. Now with a little bit of room to work in the box. Scott Community College trying to find a dribble through. Now chipped up, misses the right post by about 10 feet. Takes a one hop into that tree line back there. So now we've got 5 minutes left to play. Woodcock's going to take the goal kick. Booms in, off it goes. See who comes down with it. Shoving match, and it'll roll out of bounds off an Iowa Central player. Now controlled by Iowa Central. Shipped forward to DaCosta. Now the flag is going to go up. They're going to say that Wenzel was offsides. That's the first real head scratcher we've had all day, the one that I disagree with. I don't have a replay in front of me, but I thought she looked pretty well on sides. Didn't even have that great of a chance at it. She didn't have everybody beat. She was just about even. Either way here, cut out by Carnes. 3.5 minutes, around that, left to play. Now trying to challenge down in the corner's car. Dribbling into the box. It's chipped up and off an Iowa Central defender and out the back, so it's going to be a goal kick for Scott. From the right corner. Excuse me, a corner kick from Scott. Prococo back to take it. Now, 3 minutes left to play. As she just leaves the ball in the corner, they're going to try to get something going off of it. Hard for me to have saw the ball move. I thought they were switching kickers. It's a long look down there from the box either way. Trying to get something going now. DaCosta does a little bit of work, gets herself a little bit of free space, and then pegs an absolute rocket of a pass trying to find Wenzel. Working down into their own territory there, now with 2.5 minutes left to play. And that is an exact 2.5 minutes. Play ends as soon as that clock hits triple zeros. It's not like professional or any other level of play you might have seen. There's no extra time. There's no injury time, not that there would be today anyway. No added time, and it's not up to referee discretion to, see when the play is really concluded for the half. It's a pure time limit. It's a hard time limit. I'm going to roll all the way back to Costa. Manuele Costa hasn't really been challenged today much, but when she has, she's stood up. Only a couple decent shots at her. And really all you can ask the keeper to do is stop every one of them, and she has. DaCosta. Wenzel dropping it back to Caldas, to Hernandez. Now trying to find Caldas back. Really an evenly played game. Both teams having advantages and disadvantages in places, and now they're trying to attack. See if this one stays in bounds. It will be controlled by Scott Community College. Trying to get the play back towards their goal. Good pass, but it's cut out by Woodcock there. Led her perfectly, but Woodcock just got to the spot first. Coming up to challenge Caldas now with about a minute left to play. This one spills out dangerously. Not a good split to lose it. Lovan's going to come up, try to play it. Now Scott walks down the sideline, tries to pass it down the sideline. Levon challenging one-on-one here. Just a minute left to play. Official tries to get himself out of the way there. Sometimes hard to find a spot to stand in where nothing's going on for an official. And this one's going to roll harmlessly all the way down to Costa, so it doesn't look like we're going to break this 0-0 tie before we send you to halftime. As both teams run chances to make their mark, but just as I said at DaCosta, trying to put herself physically in. Now she's got herself in the room with a little bit of box, and Wenzel's a trail. Wenzel beats one. Almost keeps it on her foot. A lot of contact there, but the official's been letting that go both ways, so you can forgive. Now there's another little bit of a shoving match there. Official seems to want to let the girls play, but it's getting a little chippy. Now with 1 second left, we're going to call this, and it's going to be 0-0 going into half. Both teams still very much alive, and both in a fight for their playoff lives. We'll be back with the conclusion of this after a short break. You're watching soccer on the Triton Nation Network.
Picture yourself dancing at a college level. I did at Iowa Central. Picture yourself in one of over 45 degree programs. I did at Iowa Central. Picture yourself being on campus in apartment-style living. I did at Iowa Central.
Over 45 degree programs.
26 athletic programs.
An extensive performing arts department.
#1 in transfer rate.
Great placement rates.
Beautiful on-campus living.
A big university feel without the big-time price.
Picture yourself here.
Be a part of Triton Nation today.
state-of-the-art program offerings, the extensive performing arts department, and 26 athletic programs.
My parents were so excited that Iowa Central is #1 in transfer rates and also amazing in placement rates. That ensures my success after I graduate.
I love the big university feel without the big-time price.
Be a part of Triton Nation today. Picture yourself being in a play or musical at the collegiate level. I did at Iowa Central.
Picture yourself becoming a nurse. I did at Iowa Central.
Picture yourself playing college football. I did at Iowa Central.
Over 45-degree programs,
26 athletic
an
programs,
extensive performing arts department,
#1 in transfer rate,
great placement rates,
beautiful on-campus living.
a big university feel without the big-time price.
Picture yourself here.
Be a part of Triton Nation today.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
College life. I love it. I could have gone to a big school, but why do that when I could come to Iowa Central? It's a 2-year college that thinks it's a 4-year university.
They're doing one. Gonna stare into Reese's soul here.
Sports teams, performing arts, and lots of other cool prospects. New buildings, programs. Iowa Central is affordable, offers scholarships, and in just 2 years, I could be making serious money or transfer my credits toward a bachelor's degree. That's my story. Come join us.
Just back with a little halftime report here. Anyone that missed it. First of all, playoff game, high tension game, high stakes. Everything gets a bit more interesting, and well, couldn't ask for a higher tense score to go into half. 0-0. Both teams had their chances. Neither team quite able to finish on a couple good shots that they've had. So we're sitting here, well defensive played game. Standing out, really a plethora of teammate players here. Standing out for Iowa Central most, probably the combination of Carr, Woodcock, and excuse me as I get the name out of my mouth, Carnes. See here a little bit of a sniffle in my voice. That's because we're playing in 45-degree weather right now. It's something both teams are going to have to deal with. It is in Iowa October. It's when you end up playing these playoff games. Iowa Central fortunate enough. Well, not fortunate enough. They earned their way into a home game. Trying to take advantage of that right now. So really, nothing on the score report, and that's because there's been a lot to talk about defensively. Carnes played a great game back there in the half. And on the counter, Nora DaCosta, usually a threat, has been, for the most part, shut down by Maddie Bulin. That back line of Bulin and Dothard, and with a little bit of a rotating third person there with Yoder, played fantastically for Scott Community College. So don't expect this to be the type of game where, you know, everything goes down. And we don't have anything going in the second half either. This is going to be decided by 1 or 2 games. Should be tense, should be fun, and we're going to have what I'm sure will be a suspenseful second half coming up in just about 7.5 minutes. For now, stay tuned to Iowa Central Soccer.
I'm so glad I decided to choose Iowa Central.
I love their beautiful on-campus living, the state-of-the-art program offerings, the extensive performing arts department, and 26 athletic programs.
My parents were so excited that Iowa Central is #1 in transfer rates and also amazing in placement rates. That ensures my success after I graduate.
I love the big university feel without the big-time price.
Be a part of Triton Nation today.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Is that 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Picture yourself dancing at a college level. I did at Iowa Central. Picture yourself in one of over 45-degree programs. I did at Iowa Central. Picture yourself being on campus in apartment-style living. I did at Iowa Central.
Over 45-degree programs,
26 athletic
an
programs,
extensive performing arts department,
#1 in transfer rate,
great placement rates,
beautiful on-campus living.
a big university feel without the big-time price.
Picture yourself here.
Be a part of Triton Nation today. I'm so glad I decided to choose Iowa Central.
I love their beautiful on-campus living, the state-of-the-art program offerings, the extensive performing arts department, and 26 athletic programs.
My parents were so excited that Iowa Central is #1 in transfer rates and also amazing in placement rates. That ensures my success after I graduate.
I love the big university feel without the big-time price.
Be a part of Triton Nation today. Picture yourself being in a play or musical at the collegiate level. I did at Iowa Central.
Picture yourself becoming a nurse. I did at Iowa Central.
Picture yourself playing college football. I did at Iowa Central.
Over 45-degree programs,
26 athletic
an
programs,
extensive performing arts department,
#1 in transfer rate,
great placement rates,
beautiful on-campus living.
a big university feel without the big-time price.
Picture yourself here.
Be a part of Triton Nation today.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
College life. I love it. I could have gone to a big school, but why do that when I could come to Iowa Central? It's a 2-year college that thinks it's a 4-year university. 1,200 of us live on campus in apartment-style living. We have 21 sports teams, performing arts, and lots of other student clubs and activities. New buildings, new programs. Iowa Central is affordable, offers scholarships, and in just 2 years, I could be making serious money or transfer my credits toward a bachelor's degree. That's my story. Come join us.
All right, are we going or? And live back here at Triton Soccer, we're going to bring you the second half of this. As you can see up there, scoreboard 0-0. Everything pretty much conspiring to make this an even match, and you couldn't ask for a more intense situation. Tied game going into the second half. Both teams with the chance to keep themselves alive, and it's purely going to come down to what they can do in this next 45 minutes. With less than a minute left to play, as I mentioned before, that Iowa Central defense playing well. Obviously, with double zeros, that means that their counterparts, the Scott Community College back line, playing very well. The standout so far, Maddie Bulin, pretty much shut down everything that's come through there. There's been a few times where it looked like DeCosta or Wenzel were going to come through, and Bulin and Dothard have shut the door. And the one time DeCosta did find herself free one-on-one with the keeper. Keeper made a fantastic play, cut out the space, didn't give her much to shoot at. She fired straight into the wall. In front of her of one keeper and one defender. So that's pretty much been the summary of scoring chances each team has had. Scott Community College almost scored off a header on a cross, but it was not saved. It went about a foot right of the post. It had the keeper beat, but it also had the post beat. So now right here, going back, we're going to see who keeps their season alive. They've got 45 minutes to do it. And as that clock ticks down closer and closer and closer, everything is going to become the biggest play of the season. Carr's going to chase this one down, see if she decides to play it or if she's just going to nick it out. Does keep it alive. Settles down on Carnes' foot. Gets it over to Moyle. Now Carr gets it through to DeCosta and a missed touch. She's in free. Bulin chasing her down. She's got a limited amount of time to pull the trigger on this. She pulls the trigger and it's up and over the crossbar. The speed advantage of Bulin there really playing a big factor. She had herself free, but she knew she only had so much time to let go, and that little bit of extra pressure might have been enough to pull that shot up and over the crossbar. Either way, good sign for Iowa Central offensively, as that's the best look they've had all day, and they've been able to find it within the first minute. Now put back. Just going to chase this down easily. Thinks she's going to play it to her keeper. No, she decides to turn towards the sideline and then just get it out. I think she's trying to bang it off her defender. Either way, Scott Community College ends up with the ball, and the throw-in takes a one-hop right into the foot of Woodcock, who just clears it out. They'll take the throw-in again. Trying to beat her around the corner. Cut out by Carr. This throw-in fighting back and forth for it. Abigail Ford puts it in now, trying to get themselves in scoring position. Iowa Central's already had their chance. Now Scott threatening, but nothing's going to come out of it. 43 minutes to play. Costa. Looks like she's going to defer it to Woodcock as she normally does. So takes a big hop, then one step, puts her leg through it powerfully. But now she's going to have to defend in front of her own net, and she does. Gets herself in front of it, and now she's going to cut it out, keep it as a throw-in. So a mistake, but they're able to clean up after it. Will have to now defend the toss in. Now it's through beautiful pass through the legs of a defender. It beats her off the dribble, beats a third, and then thinks she's fouled, and she's going to point to the dot, and in a game that's been so close, been 0-0. Here, the weight of the world going to be on the shoulders of number 10, Lindsay Gallons. Apparently, the person they favor to go here fouled in the box. First real defensive miscue of Iowa Central today. They were just scrambling. Beat was Carr. Threw her leg in there. Got it, and now it comes down to one player against one player, keeper versus Gallons. And she's going to cut it and deliver it right into the bottom left. That's her first goal of the evening, and it's a big one. The official makes the decision. Point now Iowa Central. After a great defensive game, they give up a goal in a non-defensive way. So they're going to really have to try to come back and beat that mentally. Because the back line that's played so well, now they've given up a goal without even really being able to do it the old-fashioned way. And you have to credit Gallons. Never looked like missing. calm, collected. Try to be enthusiastic with the call, but that's a backbreaker. And really, it's early in it, so it's not a bad time to give up a goal, as you have a lot of time to get it back. But it also changes the complexion of this, especially with how limited chances have been. Now Iowa Central, everything becomes gold. They have to find a way to put one in the back of the net. And while 40 minutes isn't a short time limit, it does get obviously shorter and shorter as it goes on, so every chance at a premium now. This one tracked back by Carnes. Slung out. Off Abigail Ford. Carr is going to take the throw in. Up and over, keeping it is Montoya. You're going to see she dribbled herself out of bounds, though. Now pushing down the right. Iowa Central's got to find a way to get a couple touches, calm them down, and get the momentum going back their way. As they have played very well for a majority of the game, but that one penalty is all to make this into an uphill climb. Now they're going to the corner. Waiting for the officials' call as they spoke. They deemed that Iowa Central was the last team to touch that ball. And now, such a season. Such a great result getting through the regular season, 11-3-3. It all into these next 45 minutes to keep it alive. Trying to dump it down. Moyle. Going to be fielded by Wenzel, who, if you figure if they're going to find a goal, she's going to be a key component. DaCosta finds herself in between the keeper, but the pass leads her just a bit too far towards the center. Going to call a foul here, a little bit of pushing and shoving. I think Moyle the offender. Free kick going the other way. 39 minutes left to play. It's not panic time yet. But you really have to take care of the ball and treat every shot like it's your season, because at this point it could be. Towards Carr. She misses the handle on it, though. Don't think she's going to be punished too bad for it as it just rolls to her keeper. Booted up and now chasing it down is Lovan. So your potential hero and lone goal scorer for the day so far, Gallons, put one in at the of this second half. So far it's the difference. So far it's the only score. Found herself being able to go to the penalty line, and you got to give her credit. Biggest penalty shot she's taken all year. Maybe biggest penalty shot of her life, and she did it calmly. That's what that bottom corner means. If you get overexcited, you have a tendency to try to shoot top shelf. Didn't mess around with that at all. Put her foot through it nice and easy. Not too much power behind it. Just a well-directed shot into the bottom left corner. Past an outstretched Costa. And now defending this corner again, Iowa Central. Spent so much of that first half attacking. They spent a lot of this first 8 minutes here in the second half. Up towards a mess of people through the middle. It's going to settle down on Woodcock, and they're going to try to clear it, but still bouncing around in the box. Now finally the danger over. DaCosta going to end up with it. Got Caldas to a run. She's going to keep the run going. Bulin comes up. She dribbles past Bulin, but that speed advantage again coming into factor. Bulin coming over well. She wins it back from her, though. Gets across through the middle. Moyle. Back to Wenzel. Beats her. So good on the dribble. Gets it through, and it's past the back. It beats the keeper, but it beats the post, too. So Iowa Central showing very clearly this game nowhere near over. If you're going to win this game, you're going to have to defend them for an entire 90 minutes. They're not going to give you zeros easy. Now, a little bit of contest for the ball won by Scott. To Woodcock. To Carr. Kept in bounds by Moyle. Good walk in the tightrope. Tries to feed it through to Caldas. Almost catches Bulin slipping, but Bulin keeps that sheet clean. Hasn't made a mistake yet, and she wasn't about to let that be the exception. Found herself a little bit off balance, so she just gets that ball out of bounds. DaCosta into Moyle. Trying to find Lovan, but finds the head of a defender instead, and then Montoya. Wenzel, and now it's finally going to be played by somebody. That somebody's going to be Scott Community College midfielder. That's Prococo. Got numbers going forward. It's 4-on-4. Stretch for Carnes goes by the wayside, but it's going to be fired from a long distance straight into Emanuele Costa with not much behind it. Straightforward save. DaCosta trying to track that down. Has the official looks at her as she keeps throwing those little elbows in. Figures she's going to have to be a bit more careful by the official's body language or she might get a talking to. Defender goes down. Seems that contact clean and a really optimistic shot from about the midway point between the box and midfield. Costa handles that. Lovan trying to get something going down the right wing, but the problem hasn't been the dribbling or the ability to keep their footwork going for this back line. This back line for Scott Community College has shown pure athletic speed. 34 minutes left to play as this ball is being fought for down in the corner. Finally, Carnes is going to think better of it. Give up the possession to get a little bit of defensive positioning. 34 minutes left to play. Swim bounced over. Won by Hernandez. Now to Caldas, who's trying to swing it over to Montoya. Dribbling through everybody right now, Scott Community College. Montoya wins it. Gonna watch this one roll out of bounds in front of her. Montoya now. Still trying forward. Trying to get something moving is Iowa Central here. Just as it looks like this attempt's going to go for naught, they have a chance at Wenzel. The pace advantage over her defender. Beats her to the ball. Now dribbles past herself open in the corner, fires, but it's going to be a one-hop right into the keeper. They're able to get in deep, but not in deep with any good positioning. That cross going straight to the keeper. Carnes. And now a little bit of a defensive mishap there to clean up, but Carnes rotates over. Makes it no issue. Kicks it out the back. It'll be a corner kick to defend. 32 minutes left or so in this second half. And if Iowa Central doesn't find a way to put themselves on the board, 33 minutes left in this season for them. Definitely by no means panic time left, more than a half hour left to play. But shots at a premium, opportunities at a premium. Looking for a hero now, Iowa Central. This one headed up, straight up towards goal. And then trapped. Beautiful. That wasn't hit very hard, but it could have crossed Costa up the way it took a hop. That's tricky, but she plays the in-between hop perfectly. Gets down on her knees, smothers. It's going to become a problem. Dribbling back, and now with a little bit of something down the left. Couple touches and it's out of bounds. Now being played. Down the left wing and a sliding tackle. Perfectly done there by Woodcock. Got nothing but ball there. Dislodges it. Now coming over to take the throw, Scott. And it's a physical game. Right. For it, and that's exactly how you do it. You time your sliding tackle. The corner kick comes in head high, in between white and white and red jersey. Now headed out. Finally trying to keep it safe as Woodcock, and now the final clearance is going to fall to Carr, who gets to call this. Half an hour left to play now, 30 minutes. Trying to track it down, and now they will. They've got 4-on-4 with this back line. Running, the pass is beautiful to Caldas, and is one more time going to be beat to the ball by who's becoming the star of this game, Maddie Bulin. Wasn't the goal scorer, but you could argue that she saved more than that one goal. Lindsay Gallons has been the lone scorer for the evening, but in my opinion, Bulin has been the star. Now crossing it over Wenzel. Woodcock heading it on. Nothing come out of it, but you should note that while she has played a defensive game before, Iowa Central, and really any team when you're playing this game, one missed opportunity, one bad step, one person tripping away from tying this game, from having an opportunity to at least, and then they'll have to beat the keeper. But that's the real devil of playing back line, is that it only takes one mistake to ruin your whole day. This one's going to be cleaned up. Bulin, now DaCosta fighting for it. Does have the physicality advantage and uses it to turn the corner. For the second time today, she's got a little daylight to work with. Trying to chip it through, but she'll chip it off Bulin, who was in good position and out. They're going to say it was out off DaCosta. So Bulin there earning a throw-in. Excuse me, they're going to say DaCosta fouled on it, so it's not going to be a throw-in. It's going to be a free kick from the spot of the contact. Lovan up to DaCosta. She's got support on her left. Dumps it to Moyle, who Wenzel collides with the defender there. Defender didn't move it in, so she's not going to get the call. But it goes down hard. Heavy contact to the jaw of Wenzel, but she appears to be up and okay. A little bit of an argument about whose final touch it was, but of course the official gets the final say on that. He's going to give it to Scott with 28 minutes left to play. Now this one's going to be Iowa Central. Carr's going to take it. Heading to Moyle, to DaCosta, who's going to win this ball in good position. A little bit of contact on the shin there makes her lose it. Official's going to say it was clean. Now this one chipped out. 27 minutes left. They have 27 minutes to find a goal as Iowa Central. And as the clock winds down further and further, you can see this team becoming more offensive-oriented. They haven't come out of their game plan yet. But if this clock continues to tick down without them being able to find a goal, you'll see a team in desperation mode. Wenzel. Challenging on the dribble. Not able to win it back from her, but their pass goes a little bit errant. Now DaCosta's going to have to try to win it back. Carnes winning the header. Can be chased down by Carr in the left back. Challenged by Scott Community College. Gets the pass off, though. Now it's down in the corner. A lot of room to work for everyone. They're a little bit off their mark. One back by Moyle now. Iowa Central, every possession gold. And Bulin takes one of them away right there. So the sparkling defense from Bulin continues. 30 seconds to score out of that. It'll be 26 minutes left to play. And now, challenging down in the corner is Carr. Slide tackle's good. It'll lodge that ball free, and now they're just going to clear it out. Carr, one-on-one with her woman. She's marked up pretty well, so going to have to try to get a pass off. Instead, they're going to get one to DaCosta. Covered like a blanket by Bulin, but she tries to get a crossover. And it will find Moyle, who'll lose it. Right in front of Woodcock, though, who'll clean it up. Now moving backwards is Scott, but they still have the ball. About 25 minutes left on the clock. Pass, not enough sauce on it to get past Carr. So she'll take one touch and just get that thing out. Now challenging a little bit of and she's not going to get away with it. So that's where the official draws the line. Alyssa Montoya there, the guilty party. Waiting for the officials go ahead here. It's still 1-0. Less than 25 minutes to save their season as this free kick takes a one-hop into the keeper. Has Iowa Central. Cold weather here. Now it's probably hanging around 40. It was 45 when we started. As the night gets later, it's only going to get chillier. So in cold weather with the ball feeling like a rock, Iowa Central change to save what's been a fantastic regular season and try to extend it. Wenzel. Gonna try to get the pass through. But at the end of it, it's gonna just lead to a long volley that's settled down on the foot of Scott College, who's been doing a good job in the first match. I'll note the differences between the first match, which Iowa Central won 2-0, and this one. First of all, Scott Community College winning way more 50-50 balls as they just do right here. And now chipping it through. It's one. She's got no one to beat but the keeper, but that little bit of an extra dribble, a little bit too hard, and she puts it right into the keeper without really a shot attempt. Costa's just going to... As I was saying before, my thought was interrupted. This first game, Scott Community College really had a tough time being able to win those 50-50 balls. Anything loose in the midfield area, most of the time was won by Iowa Central. And in a close game like that 2-0 game was, that's enough to lose you it. That's been about 50-50, if not leaning towards Scott on this. So that's been a big difference. Now DaCosta dumping it back to Moyle. Montoya, who's now going to try to get it to Moyle. It's going to be cut out, though. Again, good job defending. Seeing an opening, and then making sure that they were there to close it. That Scott back line stands up one more time. And also, key for them, they didn't have an opportunity. They obviously, both teams missing chances to score and are having tough times finding chances to score. So that penalty kick that Iowa Central gave up, that's been the difference before. That's been a big difference because like I said, they lost that first one 2-0, and now they've scored off a penalty kick. We don't even know if the Scott Community College offense is capable of scoring on the Iowa Central defense, but now they don't have to. They just have to do what they do well, which is defend. And if they do that for 22 more minutes, Iowa Central on their own home court might end up going home in the first round of this playoff. So all they have to do is defend their own for 22 minutes, while Iowa Central, what they have to do, pretty much everything, but they have to finish. Again, mix up the passing. They've got to dribble. And then they've got to find someone who in a playoff situation is going to be able to stay calm and put that ball in. And obviously for Scott, it sounds basic. It sounds stupid when you say it out loud, but they've got to control the ball. Because as silly and elementary as it is, the fact of the matter is when they have the ball, Iowa Central can't score, and that seems to be philosophy for defense. They don't want to go back into a defensive shell, especially not 1-0, what they want to do is they want to keep the ball moving forward. The farther away from your goal the ball is, the less chance they have to score. Now this foul coming from behind. It was a dangerous-looking foul. Bulin getting the foot of Levon. Now good dribbling by Wenzel. Tries to feed it through, and then she goes down away from the ball. DaCosta to Caldas. Bulin gets a piece of her. And I'll tell you, one thing that's really favored, I think it's been a well-officiated game, but it's also been a very hands-off officiated game, and that really benefits these two fantastic back lines to be able to play as physical as they were. Things like you saw right there, those aren't obvious fouls. They're 50-50 calls, but in a lot of games, those get calls. So a smart defender like Bulin and like Woodcock are both seeing those calls and going, okay, I can get away with that. And that's really another contributing factor to this 1-0 game. This one off an Iowa Central touch and out, so the throw-in goes for naught. Now 20 minutes left to save the season. This one takes a couple hops out of bounds. And yep, it was far away from me, and there were a couple bodies in between, but the official's going to say that Iowa Central touched it last. I'm going to defer judgment there. Now, young Carnes is going to have to defend. She does well, beats her mark to the ball. Number 10, Lindsay Gallants, the lone goal scorer, was trying to chase that one down, maybe find herself a second. Carnes says no way. Gallants, the only goal off a penalty kick in the 40th minute of this second half. Now Montoya trying to... Looks like she's going to have room to get to it. Does track it down. And now trying to get it is DaCosta. Gets herself a little bit of extra space with a very nifty piece of footwork there. Speaking of nifty footwork, Moyle finds herself free, and she finds Levon. A beautiful curling pass, almost found a goal for Iowa Central, but it's going to be shut down. Levon came out of nowhere to get a foot on that, and Moyle, fantastic teamwork there to know where she was going to be, and she put it on a dime, but still nothing. Well defended by the keeper. So now that's two opportunities to score Iowa Central has had this half, which you can take one of two ways. Either that's a bad thing because they should have put those away, or that's a good thing because that means that you figure with 18 minutes left, they're going to have a couple more chances. It's just going to be a matter of can they put one away. Fight for the ball. Official's going to give it to Scott. He's going to take it on the free kick, which means that DaCosta was doing a little bit more shoving down there than she was going to get away with. Chasing this down, Woodcock is just going to let this one roll out. We're going to see who touched it last on this. I'm going to say the Scott player did. Free kick going to be taken by Woodcock now with 17:30 left to play. A penalty kick so far the difference. Neither team able to break out in a traditional way offensively. Official, rightfully so, said that the Iowa Central defense got a little bit too physical in the box, gave the penalty for it. Gallants put it away, and now as we have a player down, that's the situation. That's all we've had so far, which is really going to make this last 17 minutes a fun ride as this clock is stopped at 17:26 left to play. As we get the injured player off the field. Seems to be favoring her left knee a little bit, but you figure that she's going to be able to re-enter play, as it doesn't appear to be too big of a gimp on the favor. And it'll be Caldas that re-enters. Excuse me. Not Caldas. Number 28, which is honestly a player... Excuse me, I put this down. Had to put on a different jersey number. She started today as number 1. But Dinah Jihad coming into play now as number 28. She rotates between 1 and 28 through the season, which is why I had to do a little through the roster to find her. Hasn't seen an awful lot of playing time, but now they're depending on her to be one of the 11 women on this field when they're able to find themselves a goal. Now, this once again, the one-on-one matchup there. Bulin becoming an absolute thorn in the side of Iowa Central defensively. She shuts down DaCosta again, but they're going to have to now. Iowa Central will not come off of it. They're going to have to keep defending. A good pass, but losing that ball down there. And you wonder if they're going to keep going after DaCosta offensively or if they're going to try to switch a little bit because they have other options, but she's usually their most consistent option. But you just wonder, watching it one-on-one, if Bulin doesn't have her shut down. Caldas. Now DaCosta using her physicality to win that ball back. They're going to say she did. Well played by DaCosta there. Lavon off of Bulin, and she keeps it with Scott. Now it's up in the air. Settled down finally after a little bit of chippiness by Scott. Now a lot of congestion through the midfield area as they try to get a counter going. It's going to be won back by Moyle. And now taking a run at that back line is Wenzel, who might be who they have to go to. They've put their best defender on DaCosta. They've done a pretty good job limiting her space. So she might not be an option anymore. It might have to be one of these other scorers, the leader of which you'd figure would be Nicole Wenzel. So if they do find something, look for it to be coming from Wenzel's area, as she seems to have become their primary offensive option tonight. This one out off of Carr's touch. Booted forward by Carnes. You can already see Iowa Central creeping farther and farther forward as they have to get more and more offensive-minded. I don't think they're afraid of giving up another goal. Really doesn't hurt you anymore than but not. And they're going to say she was fouled trying to get back to that ball after the first touch. And we're going to have a fantastic chance to get something goalward. And it's going to come from a free kick about 3 feet outside the box is all. And about 5 feet left of the furthest left post. So not a bad angle to shoot from if Wenzel wants to shoot. And not a bad place to try to get a chance at a header from. We'll see where she goes with it. The wall is set up. Everyone is marked. Wenzel measuring this ball up. With 13 minutes left, you don't know how many chances like this you're going to get. She takes the run at it. She puts her foot through it. It's curving towards the top, but it curves up and over the top shelf. Off the foot, it looked like it had a chance. But less than 6 inches is the difference between going up and over the bar and giving the keeper a bit of a problem. The former ended up happening. Lavon now trying to put a little bit of pressure on, and the result's going to be a bad pass that'll send Carr back to her own corner. She's going to play it out. And you wonder, with that play right there, Carr doing the conservative thing and chipping it out, how much longer Iowa Central is going to stay in a more conservative mindset, trying not to give up a goal. They have yet to send everybody forward, but as it ticks down towards about 12 minutes left to play, you figure it's going to be about time soon. This one spilling out in front of Gallons in the box, and she almost finds herself a cheap goal there off of a misplayed throw-in. But it goes by the wayside, and this is going to stay 0-1. Ironically, even though they've given up a goal, that's about the best look Iowa Central's defense has given up all day. Foul here called on the attempted header. I think they got Caldas. She got herself airbound. lost control of herself while she was there, ran into her mark, so 12 minutes left now. And for a team that's played so well, Iowa Central, as I've mentioned a couple times before in this broadcast, 11-3. Butterflies in the air now. As this was definitely not a game they looked over, not being a playoff game and against a team they played tight earlier in the year, but it was a game that they knew they could come in with a great chance to win. And now if they're going to want to have any chance at all, they've got 11 and a half minutes to do it. Trade here, and they're going to have to do it at the end of what I'm sure has been a long day playing in this cold. Hamstrings and quadriceps starting to tighten up, I'm sure. After a little bit of a battle won by Lavon. Moyle.
Do you have one?
Now trying to track this down to Woodcock.
Okay. Yeah, I'll fix you down there.
Beans it. Forward, trying to get something going. Shut down by Bulin. She even gets the pass off, but it's stolen from her teammate.
Stay with your own shot, man. Okay.
Moyle to Wenzel. Wenzel plays it back to Carnes. Carnes plays it off the wall. It's back to the foot of Woodcock. And I think we're going to have a foul call that's going to be called on Scott, and Iowa Central is going to take this quickly. Moyle trying to get it over to Valadez. Moyle heads it beautifully towards DaCosta. But one more time, it's played by Bulin, who's been everywhere, but she fouls on the process. She's covering sideline to sideline tonight. But that time, she made a mistake. A rare slip up there. Had a bit too much to handle from Wenzel, so she had to give the foul, and now a great chance to cross. It's about all she can do. She can't really take a shot from here. Gets the cross and forward. It's in front of the keeper. The keeper's down on her knees. It's spilling out in front. And she's finally going to be able to suck that up. That, a beautiful chance, but no one really there in a white jersey to be able to put the foot through it. The shot from Wenzel, a bit mishandled. It spilled out from underneath the keeper. And for a second, it looked like Iowa Central was going to have a chance to tie this soccer match, but they're still moving forward with only 9 minutes left to save their playoff lives. And as it ticks down, now you've seen the shift. You've seen the shift in body language. You've seen the shift in personnel. You've seen the shift in, overall tactics and the way they're using that back line. Iowa Central is a team in desperation mode right now. Everyone is going forward because there's no sense in defending at the moment. A team that last year found its way all the way to the national championship finals and won. And then this year gave themselves, even with a lot of missing pieces from last year, gave themselves a great position, a home game, had a beautiful opening season. Now find themselves in danger of going out in the first round. So it up over the crossbar. Caldas not even going to take the lead. Read it right. Lets it float up and over. So this is a team, right now Iowa Central, that is very much backed into a corner. And it's not for lack of ability or for even lack of, how well they've played today. It's been a great defensive effort. They didn't give up that goal on defense. They gave it off of a penalty kick. So far, that's been the difference. Valdez with a sea of red. You can sense the tactic change from Scott, too. More players hanging back than you normally have. Over to Montoya. Gives Valdez. Gets here, the cold weather starting to get to me. I'm sure it's affecting them down there too. Just sitting up here in the open box in this 40-degree weather. It's been a cold afternoon and starting to stuff my nose up, and I'm sure on top of the butterflies and the stomachs, there's a little bit of having to fight that cold and fight the conditions. This one spilling out in front of the right wing. Nothing going to come out of it, but they're also not going to be able to keep it in bounds. Now, just 7 minutes left to play. Play being a not quite appropriate word at the moment. It seems 7 minutes to scramble, 7 minutes to fight, 7 minutes to try to find any way you can to manufacture a goal here and try to go into try to go into overtime. Iowa Central's last hopes. Now tracking it down is Wenzel, but the defense beats her to it. It's now 6.5 minutes left to play, and you can see the urgency. This throw comes in to DaCosta. Is fouled. Now Iowa Central trying to get back to the spot quickly and just take the free kick. Caldas wasting no time. 6 minutes left to play. Takes it. Over to Moyle. Up and through Valdez. Puts it up. Not much danger on the contact, though. I believe the way it came off of her foot, that had to be blocked, and they're saying it was. So they're going to get the corner over here. Moyle. Everyone marked up. DaCosta might have been able to find herself free, but the cross is up and over and into the top of the net. It's going to be a goal kick, and now it's not getting desperate. It's getting unlikely that Iowa Central is going to be able to find a goal. There's only 5 minutes left to do it, and they've just given possession. One of the heroes for today, for Scott, Lindsay Gallons. Going to take the corner. She has the lone goal of the evening on a penalty kick. Now this ball's spilling out outside the box, and they're going to call a little bit of a shove there against Iowa Central. 4:50 left. Would be a very impressive win for Scott to put on their resume, and obviously not even looking to increase their resume, just looking to stay alive. More importantly, it would move Scott Community College into the second round of this playoff tournament for the national championship, which at the end of the day is every team's goal. And to do it, they had a pretty big test in front of them, and they've answered it well so far. They had to beat the defending national champions, a team that went 11-3 on the season at home. And so far, they've handled it stunningly. But they're going to give it up to DaCosta, but the keeper is going to come off her line and had about 5 different places to be looking, and all of them came up negative. The keeper comes off her line and defends it, but it doesn't matter because DaCosta offsides anyway now with 4 minutes left to play. So that's from the Iowa Central perspective. From Scott Community College perspective, what a performance. You're a defensive team. You knew that's what you were going to depend on. You find yourself a goal. You find yourself an easy enough goal. Penalty kicks are by no means easy, but they're a higher percentage shot than anything else in the game. So you find yourself a way to put the odds in your favor. You take it, and then they have had a stranglehold on this 1-0 lead. So they knew they weren't going to blow you away with a bunch of talented offense, but they've won the game exactly the way up to this point that they should have won it. Relying on that back line, relying on possession, and now they have Iowa Central backed into a corner is an understatement. 3 minutes left to save their lives. Wenzel. Oh, beautiful footwork. Still not giving it up. DaCosta trying to win it, but there's 2 people all around her. Valdez. Now Valdez is going to have it with a little bit of room. And she just kicks it away. Tries to get one goalward. Way too far left, putting her bad foot through it. Might have been an instance of a young player just trying to make something happen in a game where not a lot has happened for them offensively. Big time here. Iowa Central really needs to keep this on their half of the field. They need to get control of this. It's a big 50-50 ball here. And they're going to clear it down. But they are going to have a chance to attack straight off of it as the keeper controls it at her feet. And, of course, knowing the situation, she just gets the boot straight away. Goes to Calder. She's got a lot of room to work. Wenzel. Colliding to Costa. Valdez. Good dribble. Now gets one goalward. And you got to be curious now about how Iowa Central is going to handle this last minute 45. Because it is desperation time. And they had a lot of people behind the ball there still not able to get it. And you can see every touch a scramble. A minute 30 now. This one goes through to the back line. And as I mentioned earlier, that is exactly a minute 30. As soon as that hits triple zeros, the ball is dead. No extra time, no injury time, no referee discretion. It'll end. And if it ends at this point, the defending national champions are going home. Tracking this ball down. Everything going against Iowa Central. Against Scott before the game. Facing a great team at home that had beat them before. Haven't looked at today. This one being put in front, it's going to be just whipped past Caldas now with 45 seconds left. Iowa Central, a last-ditched effort to keep championship hopes alive and to keep one more game. Headed up. They've just got to get everyone forward now. No sense defending. But now smothering defense by Scott. And that's just a microcosm of how the day's gone. Good defense and controlling the ball is Scott. Now they're just going to waste time. Get it down to the corner. And that looks like that's going to be the dying embers of Iowa Central season with 10 seconds left. Scott Community College is going to be advancing to the next round of this tournament. Iowa Central is going to end the season 11-4-4 and go home as the final whistle is blown. Scott Community College puts on a heck of a performance, gets a win for it, goes up 1-0, and that's going to be the end of Iowa Central women's soccer for the year. They're going to end at 11-4-4. Fantastic year, but no repeat as national champions on the horizon here. So they'll be disappointed, of course, but fantastic game. Scott moving on. See what they can do in the next round. But for now, I've been Tyson Strayer. You've been listening to and watching Iowa Central Soccer on the Triton Nation Network.
I'm so glad I decided to choose Iowa Central.
I love their beautiful on-campus living, the state-of-the-art program offerings, the extensive performing arts department, and 26 athletic programs.
My parents were so excited that Iowa Central is #1 in transfer rates and also amazing in placement rates. That ensures my success after I graduate.
I love the big university feel without the big-time price.
Be a part of Triton Nation today.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Is that right in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry. Go along, son.
it's always worth it.
Whoa!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to